again. Time for our live. And as usual, I started a couple of minutes earlier just to adjust a couple of settings and find my stream from the YouTube because still, same story as usual. I haven't yet found how to combine the scheduled events and uh, reverse side stream. I found the instructions, but I can't find those settings, so it's a bit tricky. Today we have a bit different day. We are going to go through a couple of news. I'm going to show you a bit statistics because next Sunday, in a couple of days, we will have a bigger stream with more constructed material and a bit more structure because these Fridays there's just for time for the morning coffee and have a bit fun and cut that week because I also have very intensive week. It turns out to be that this morning is my only free day this weekend, but that's why we have these streams. But yeah, just give me a second. I'll find my stream from my YouTube. Here I found it. I'll edit because it picks the information to Friday. What do we leave? We have 24th. Oh my God. 24th of January is our stream and January can almost fry. And then one more setting YouTube ones, not for kids. And then information has been changed. And I'll also adjust my screen a bit for the better view and open chat. And now it's at 10 o'clock. Everything done in a couple of minutes. But yeah, takes a while. I wish I could find a way how to preset everything that when I start, I'll just go. But could be because I'm not paying for the biggest package Riverside is offering. I have the free one. Okay, we have a first guest coming. Yeah, we got the rescue dog. My rescue dog came to see what's happening and so on. I'm still opening couple of tabs for me. This is the preparation time. And then I need to mute. Yes, everything is okay. There I found my live feed. And then I need to find that chat is working. Yeah, now I get the chat. I tried the chat from the Riverside. That one didn't fully work. I'll try it again. And then we will see if they appear. But looks like not. But that's not the problem. Sorry for adjusting, but like I said, this Friday morning is pretty free and relaxed morning. Who do we have? We have two already joined us. Hit the message in the chat. It's not that serious. I would like to know who we have, and then sometimes we have a regular faces here. a couple of weeks ago, we got a person, actually two people, to a live meeting, and they were guests just to tell a bit about working in Finland and what are they doing and what kind of challenges they have. And but feel free to comment to chat. And then Sunday, most likely we will have way more people. So if you have a questions, today is a good day to ask. But let's do something completely different. We had a long time ago, we checked a bit news, what's happening, and let's do that one and try to see what's happening and what kind of information we can pick from the news because our topic is working in Finland and finding that job. But to do that properly, we need a bit inside information. And during these lives, I try to explain what I have done in past when I was recruiting people, went through companies, because you need a lot of background information that it just gives that boost to your effort and productivity. But let's see what's happening in Finland. And I took a governmental news site, and then I picked a category of employed and unemployed, employed and unemployment in Finland. And let's have a screen share. See what we have here. Yeah, this time it worked. And then I pulled us a couple of statistics. Hey, Fahad is here. Let's see. How could I get the job? It's really hard to find a job. All the requirements are in Finnish. Hey, that's exactly what we have on Sunday, but we can have it also today. I'll go the news quite quickly. Then I will change a couple of words about Fahad's question. I'm really sorry. I'm still a Finn. I'm a bit afraid to pronounce the surname, but I'll try. Fayez Kader could go absolutely wrong, but we might survive with it. But hey, let's have a fun news, and then we go to more relaxed topics. Now we have a governmental news site about unemployment generally in Finland. And then we will see what's happening through statistics. People who have been on occupational safety course, they know that I love statistics. Fast tips are coming. Uh, Here, I'm going to scroll. Yeah, I needed this screen. I have a multi-screen setup. Uh, let's see. First one is saying that unemployment rate is growing. Then it's saying that public sector workplaces are reducing. Couple of comments from Tampere, not the good ones. Same happening in Pohjanmaa. A bit changes about unemployment offices because if you are a customer of the office, you have noticed that that responsibility have changed to cities and they have a huge queues and problems. It just means that it's even more important that we are active by ourselves because we can't trust that we will get the proper help from at least in the quantity we need from the governmental officers and workers because their workload is so insane. And that's why we have these tips today. I'll try to check that can I pull an old presentation and go it through with you. I have a way better presentation prepared for the Sunday and I'm still updating it. And here's one professor saying that yeah, it's even hard to have a doctor degree work, but usually that's about the person, not the degree. But hey, why do we look for news? Here's the first one. Because usually I go through the news quite quickly. I don't try to go in deep and see, read every news because that's irrelevant. When I go through news, I see what are the most common topics. Like now we had a lot of unemployment rate raising and so on. And then we found the news I was looking that this news is about fields which has work in Tampere. So let's click it open. Let's see what's happening in Tampere and where should we put our efforts. And here they have done a questioning from for the employers that hey, where are you recruiting and so on. So let's see. This one says that major part of open jobs are on the field of sales, information technology, and industry. And some companies are saying that they would like to hire people, but they don't have ready workers. So that's something we need to find out. I'll try to find out that which study this one was and was it open one, because we want to know what kind of companies and which fields. Then we can actually contact those companies. Let's see. It's same 70% off, and here is information I was looking. People who do installations has a technical background. They need that kind of workforce. And now when I'm mirroring this news that what has happened, because I also train a couple of really big companies in I think the main company is Intel in Italy. They work around the world. They do cable installations, everything related to electricity, and they just shipped uh, almost 30 people to Finland to do installations. I think they went to the data center. They didn't say where they are going, but I would guess. And then they do a couple of industrial lines earlier. So there's a lot of foreign companies coming to Finland and they come with their own workers, but that's most likely because it's easiest for them. And now I can tell you an example of what's happening here with Google, for example. Google is having uh, expansion in Hamina, and they have got a lot of workers. I have trained several during the last weeks, and they come from all around of the Europe, but they still need a bit local help. And we just for fun asked that, hey, what if we have a local people free who has a good background, they speak English, they are hardworking. Would you like to try them? And guess what? The guy who asked got the interview there, and now I'm waiting that what are the results. But why are these a bit tricky? Because these companies are not easy to find, not even for me, because they are nowhere said. And these companies even didn't have a Finland marked as a field that where they would operate. But it's something I need to work with. I need to get better in that field. But this was one of the news we wanted to look. To summarize it, in Tampere, sales, industrial, and ICT fields are doing quite well. And then the rest of the news are about the office changes and so on. Here was one more news I wanted to pull out. Again, a bit dark news, but they put a lot of dark news because they sell. They need clicks, they need people to read them, but luckily we are not interested of those. And scrolling down, I checked this one this morning, scrolling, and let me find you one. Here it is. Uh, this news is about a person, William, who got fired, and he faced the same problem than many other people. No workplace is available. At least that's the situation you and view you might get if you read the news and you only send those invitations out. And again, I can summarize the news a bit. It was about the person who got fired and then felt that no workplace is available, really hard to find. But then she put that extra effort. She contacted companies, went it through, sent applications, but main important, also talked with the companies, asked a lot of questions, and then she found a workplace. And that's the most common story. But yeah, we are not going to read a story itself. Everybody can find them from Yle if they want to see. So that's what I wanted to share from the news. A lot of dark news, but when you scroll them down, you can find those couple of pieces of information we need. Like now it was about Tampere and the fields and so on. And then just to support the idea we have talked about that you need to be active, then you can find that place. But I will come back to that active part just a bit later. Today we have around an hour time, and it's around the time I can finish my coffee. And let's dive in for statistics a bit and see what's happening, because we want to also look a bit trends, because why to compete on the field with shrinking employee amounts, and there the competition is hardest. I'm gonna change the screen just a second. There it is. Okay, this one was quite interesting, that what's happening. um, this is job vacancies, and this is about the change, because they ask from the companies that what kind of positions, how are people employed, what is their role in a company. We can see that the manager, I'll just adjust it a bit that we can see the years. Managers 2023, but then 2024 it has grown a bit. And when I have gone through people's applications, people have a lot of good background in managing in hotels, warehouses. They have had construction workers and so on. Use that information and how you can sell it for the companies, because what are companies still fighting? They always need workforce, but they need skilled workforce. And based on that idea, I just read, I think it was article on Forbes, and it was about what kind of people companies are hiring. They are hiring people who can manage themselves and can take a task on their own hands, and they know when to ask if they face a problem. That's something you can emphasize, and that was also the biggest problem with I had with our own clients when we sent people out, that they couldn't manage themselves. That's the one thing you can lift in a resume and try to make that message clear. Then, uh, then we have a bit darker selection. We have a reduced work employee rates. Here we have a professionals. Okay, that's not that big drop, just a bit compared to many other ones. That if you have certification quality, uh, very good experience from previous field, try to do everything to get to work on that area, because you are professional in that. And there's no point that if you have a hardcore IT person or you have managed the industrial process, that don't run for that cleaning job. Put your all your effort to get that best part and best job what fits to your skills. Then technicians and associate professionals, here's a bigger drop. Clerical support workers, that one has almost halved. And if you find a field that where things has halved, it means that there's a crazy competition, and maybe it's not the point to fight there for that last remaining jobs. Then we have a service and sales workers, also halved, but still big in quantity. So why not to concentrate also on that field? That if you have a strong background there, then you actually hit that professional category, and it will give a nice boost for your efforts. And then I have also had a lot of people with the agricultural background. They have had it. That here it says skilled agricultural, forestry, and fishery workers. That amount of the job has stayed around the same. And this is a bit trickier, because farms, they are quite small in Finland, but they are very labor intense, and we need to figure out how to contact them, and how to how to work with them. Because if you have a good offer, like, hey, I can come and work for you, this is my hour price, it's a very reasonable, and I can bill for my work, because they don't want most likely, especially the small ones, don't want employer responsibilities because it creates a lot of paperwork. You might be able to make a good deal there. Uh, how to get them? Let's try one trick. Yeah, I need to. I'll write it down. You asked for tips, and we had our first example here. I'll write it that I don't forget. That one will be our example to find companies operating in some specific field, because every farm is registered. They have y-tunnus, they should have, and when the company has or somebody has a y-tunnus, the company code, we can find them. I'll show you how. And we will use page called finder.fi. I think people are already tired of hearing about Finder, but I use it a lot. And then we have a craft related trades, that's also halved, machine operation halved, elementary occupations halved, and so on. Armed forces are really small, no change there. But yeah, this one was about the professions, just to get the idea where we should put our efforts. And let's have uh, one more picture. This one I need to zoom out just a bit. Okay, that zoomed everything. So let's just have a screen share and this one. Because many people are moving from cities to cities, that they feel that in one area they can't get those results, that they feel that, hey, we don't have places open in this area. And let's see what people have done. I'll take it a bit down. This here just is headline: unemployed job seekers percentage of workforce by Ely Center. And what I have noticed people have done. Uh, let's take my screen. And now comes some interesting information. If you have a chance to choose your location, or you are already located in a good area, don't move around and put a bit more effort or change something in that area, because you have a lot of chances and better chances. But let's see what people have done. Many people have lived in area of Satakunta, uh, Pohjanmaa, Ostrobothnia, and even in Pirkanmaa. And check what employment rate compared to the workforce: 8.9, 11, 12. And guess what? Where they have moved? They have moved around from here to this area or here. So statistically, chances are less and competition is higher. And if we think about where are the big cities, okay, Helsinki, Uusimaa, but let's leave Helsinki out. That's not my favorite city. But if you live around here, what do we have? We have Turku, we have a Hanko there, we have a. Uh, now I lost the name of the big cities, but not important. My friend has a sawmill around this area, and uh, there is more need for a workforce. Don't move away. Change something. Okay, one difference what this side of the Finland has compared to this one is the language, that more about Swedish speaking people in west than in the east. But that's also a plus because they are more prepared to speak English. And actually that is sometimes so strong that they prefer to speak English instead of Finnish. That's a bit weird. And then the more east you go, it might come even that they speak less English. So just about the location, what I noticed, that people are moving from really good area to more challenging area. And then we have a one exception, or kind of exception, a bit different area. We have a Lapland. Lapland is facing now a bit crisis because of tourists. The crisis is that they have too many, and they need a workforce there. They need a help, and local people are having concerns that too many tourists changes the local environment too much, and so on. But a lot of job opportunities in Lapland at the moment. But yeah, that was about the statistics and news. So, very quick summarize if you just joined. First, we went through the news. They were really dark, mostly about how bad the unemployment situation is at this moment. But what we looked from the news was actually what's the difference. We found out that in Tampere area, ICT, sales, and industrial workplaces, they were high in demand. Then we check the another statistics, that what kind of jobs and what's the rate of employees has changed in those fields, like how many salespeople we had 2023 and then how many salespeople we had 24. And from there we actually noticed that in industrial and professional workplaces the drop is the smallest. So from there we might get the idea that in Tampere region, the people who are installing, maintaining machines, that's a high in demand. And actually, that one was also mentioned in end of that news. So we still have a hope. We just need to find the fields which are doing really well. And then from the news, we also found out story about person who was fired, felt that it's really hard to find the work. All the news are dark, but then in the end, with the own effort, there was results and the job was found. And then we checked the map of Finland, that unemployment rate compared to people who are working, and we can see that in the west we are doing better, and somehow people are moving from west to east at this moment to look for a work. That's not in my opinion very good idea. But yeah, let's change the topic a bit, and tips were asked in the chat. And can I ask from Fahad, what have you, what, how do you look for jobs? Can you write what kind of measurements you take to find companies? And meanwhile, I'll give a tip, and we'll try to look. Can we find Maatilat in Finland? Could be that not in live. Maybe I don't get the right keyword, but we will see. That's why these lives are fun. You never know what comes out. Sometimes we find something very different. Yeah, my daughter picked me a mug this morning. It's a quite fun engineering mug. And let's check. Let's use a common term. See what happens. We look for agricultural and how many results we have. Okay, insane results. Insane results. We actually listed every farm in Finland and we got over 10,000 yes, over 10,000 results. So it's really good. We can see that all kind of palvelu. We have luomutila, we have another small tila. Then we have kaivinkoneurakointi. Most likely it's a farmhouse, and then they have an excavator. They offer excavator service. Because what I can tell a bit from the countryside and farms we have here, they are relatively small. My grandfather also had not really big, but what they do on besides of farming, they do farming in springs and autumns, and then they sell skills rest of the year, the middle summer, then also the winter time, and they are mostly related to construction, uh, working with excavators. Maybe they have trucks they are driving, and they need all kind of help. and that's where you can offer your services. Here, it could be that the language might be a small barrier, but if you ask from uh, many places, chances are that you will find a bit younger person, and then they actually speak English and they have no problem. And by the way, what has changed recently, that many people uh, operating a farmhouse, running some kind of countryside related business, they have a YouTube channels. So they are already used to for English and they have no problem hiring people with different background. So that's the good news. But let's try to be more precise. Now we had a agricultural field, and let's see Tampere. Okay, Fahad is using from Jobly. Then I can have a couple of more tips for you. And now we put a field that it's agricultural in Tampere region. We got still 46 results. That's a good news because that's the amount we can actually contact. And here you can see the type, it's a company, and then field is agricultural. And let's see if we can see here is a form is a company again, of course, because we are listing all the companies. But this one is growing and what is jalostus when they breeding, uh, growing and breeding horses, and there you can pick the field if it fits your background. But what are we looking today? We try to find out if something is related to more labor intensive. They are all, but I want to see that is there anything construction related? Because here is uh, again, yeah, no need to list the company time. That here's a growing fishes and so on. A lot of horses. Here again related to fishing. Okay, we can pick most likely it's this one because I'm not really familiar with all the codes we have for the fields, but this one could be what we are also looking at. If somebody is, for example, offering agricultural services, most likely it's a building, operating excavators and so on, and those we can contact. And how would we contact these kind of companies? We can first of all click it open, and let's hope that this one has uh, some kind of contact information. Not all of them has. This one has only your address, so we will pick a next one. Let's see what what this one says. Still address only, because we will find a email. Yeah, in a live it's always a bit looking and checking. Let's go a bit down and see. There's also another trick. If they only have listed the uh, address of the business, you can also look uh, in Google Maps because you know already a location, and most likely they have created in many cases the Google business page, or somehow the Google has found that business and it has automatically added it. There is a big chance to find a contact information. And actually, if you send a message through Google Maps that you have found the business, that it's marked there, there's a very big chance that it can reach that person. Because what I noticed, I have created the several business pages for Google. Okay, there the communication is clear and easy. But then some other businesses where we don't have it listed on a Google, but still Google has added the location because people have visited. It's marked in some uh, services. So Google algorithms has picked it up, added it there, and we have got messages through that way. And how it happens that when somebody sends a message there, then the email what's linked in that location or mentioned in some another registry, there comes another message from the Google that, hey, you have a contact request from here. Click it open and you can see a text. So a lot of different ways to contact. And I actually going to show that on Sunday when we have more prepared. Uh, okay, Fahad is asking, Search Kerava Vantaa. Can you tell me your field? What's your profession? What are we looking? And let's have a peek what we can find. I'll take a bit up here. Meanwhile, when I'm waiting in the field, I'll I'll open one page. I'll show you different portals soon. Again, that's coming on Sunday, but because we have this free time for questions and I had only the news and statistics for the morning, the free part. Okay, while we wait Fahad's field. Okay, did it come? Okay, warehouse. That would be logistics. We put logistiikka and let's pick a Vantaa first, the big area, airport and things like that. So a lot of activity there. And now we can see all the companies in Vantaa operating in the field of logistics. And what information, this one I have gone through previously, but let's go through again. That first we have a name of the company and then we have the turnover. We are interested of that turnover and it's 5 to 9 people. So there's a couple of people working and good chances that they might hire. And then we have a really big one here, Kühnenagel. And let's take first Suomen Lähilogistiikka. Click that one open. And now we get a lot of more information. Agricultural is a bit tricky what we checked in the first. Not often emails or phone numbers listed. A bit harder to contact, but not impossible. And this time they don't have an email address, but here we have a turnover, 4 million turnover. That's a good sign. Made a bit loss previous years, but then again 2023 was on the plus. So sounds good, looks good. And let's see what they have on their website. I'll need to change the screen again. I think this one was last time or one before. We went through how to find. Okay, they are driving taxis mostly. This is a bit not right example, not the warehouse, but in logistics. And check taxi. They were looking for taxi drivers earlier. But let's go away from this field because it's not what we were looking for. Let's pick a next one. We want a bit bigger turnover. Polar Pro. This is, by the way, staff leasing company. Uh, they have people they are renting out for logistics field, warehouse, and so on. So we will skip it. That's the different story. Let's try this one. 1 to 2 millions. And here we have then email address we can contact. Let's see, so just out of curiosity, how are their website? And soon I will come back to I'll come back how we can contact the company itself. I'll quickly check. Okay, this could be. This is a bit different again. It's not warehouse. We have several big warehouses, but I can already say that if you want to have just a job to drive a forklift or handle materials, that could be a bit hard task to do. We have a Nurminen, we have a big companies, but thing is that I have a cousin who drives a truck a lot. He has work as more than he can do. He does have really long days, but he also does that moving materials in a warehouse, that he drives a truck somewhere, he loads it, and then he leaves it. That if you want to work on a warehouse and logistics side, then if you have driven a truck or you have a C license, that one raises your possibilities a lot. Like my neighbor is also driving a truck and he's all the time at work. But see, let's see what we have here. We got the one company in the logistics field. They have Vaihtolavat, they have cranes, they have lifting services, and again, what kind of jobs are available in this category? It's that if you can drive a truck, you can operate a lift on it, or you can drive a truck and you can drop a container on a site. They will load it, and then you can pick it, and then you take it to the sorting center. That kind of jobs are available here, and they are in a big in quantity. You can automatize those jobs, and they are always available. So you can see if you want to pick something about from the Finnish work environment, it's a bit different from many other countries, that we don't have jobs which are concentrated into one very narrow field. But if you can do a bit around it, then you will be a golden. In this case, it's driving a truck and operating a couple of devices. Not really hard task to do. So what we can do, we can pick the email address, same address what was in Finder site, and then we send them a polite message. We don't send them an email with CV attached and say that, hey, we are looking for a work. We send them email that, hey, how are you doing? And then we introduce ourselves that I am from this country, has been in Finland for a while. I have a really strong background on my field, and I'm just asking that how are you doing and do you have any opportunities? If you have, I'm really happy to tell more about myself. And we should send that message in Finnish. That's my experience. And in the end, say that, hey, we are at the moment studying till Finnish. We know the basics, but we can communicate fluently in English, and so on. So message in Finnish, but we make sure that they get in the end the idea that, hey, we speak English, we understand a bit Finnish. And why do we do that? We want that they read the message, and then in the end it's told that not fluent in Finnish, then it's not cheating. But we made them to read, and hopefully they will react to it. And we have in the end of the message always call to action that, hey, we asked that how they were doing that. At least they would answer something. From those messages, we get valuable information. So let's go a bit back and go back to our Finder. And let's see that can we find something related to warehouse completely. And let's try varastointi, which is like storing. Let's see. First, we check the whole Finland. We have a 735 companies marked in the field of storing stuff. And then we go Vantaa. Okay, surprise, surprise, Kühnenagel, the first one. But then there is transportation and moving people. Check 100 to 200 million euros. That's the really good company to contact. And and what I wanted, I got the thought. I read the chat. In these cases, most likely they do with a lot of storing. They take storing and transportation. And here you can offer with your message that, hey, my background is in the warehouse, but I'm happy to help in moving people and companies from one place to another, and everything warehouse related works. And every time we contact a company, we should check that what are they actually doing, and then we will form our message based on that information, that they get the idea that, hey, this person is actually a good fit for our field. And Fahad has a question that should we write a message email in Finnish? And I think absolutely yes. There's a one exception uh, when not to write in Finnish. If the company webpage is in English. Last week I went through a couple of those cover letters and CVs outside of the live stream. I also did a couple of on a live stream just to show how to tune it and what not to say in cover letter or CV. And we found actually companies whose page was English. Then we went through what kind of person is behind it, and that person was not a Finn. And then we also, of course, contact in English. But it needs a bit legwork to find out what kind of company it is. Let's see what Colletus is doing. Turnover, we can see that it's growing from 31 to 51 million euros. Really good sign. We want to find companies which are doing well. Okay, here it says that it operates in Jyväskylä. We wanted to get Vantaa area, but this is most likely the main office what's listed. And let's see what kind of web page they have. Changing the changing the website again. Okay, why did I get in front? I got the Windows messages. Let's see what the contact form says. Actually, it might be in English. Yeah, big company. Let's see what's in a contact us. Several terminals. It's a good sign. Can't see here what I was looking. I'm sometimes looking for an open application or avoimet työpaikat. And then I'll try one more trick. What I do sometimes. I'll see that will this bring results. There's so many things to do. Okay, I'll show you something. Uh, okay, Fahad asked a sample of a cover letter. Sure, I'll show you. I'll show you also one thing, because sometimes, and I have used this very often, that we need to take a shotgun and we want to shoot into one direction and see what can we catch. And in this case, I put all the keywords I'm using in that field, and I put it in Google, and then we see what happens. I used logistics, then I picked the area, Vantaa. And then what I wanted to get is avoin hakemus. It means that there's an open application that you can leave your contact information because I didn't want to find some specific job. It would limit the results. And now just put the open application and let's see what Google can tell us. Um, we got first, if you want to be in warehouse, we want Polar Pro, staff leasing company. Definitely get your information there, get the interview, and they have their own clients. They are renting people and using staff services. Same work power, and it's in the warehouse field and logistics, also construction, industrial places. Leave there an open application. Parona, same thing, but you already know very often Parona is listed and so on. Sector alarm, forget that one. We don't want to be a sales reps for uh, uh, that alarm systems. Then we got the Duunitori, one site listing open jobs. Duunitori actually might be a bit better than Jobly. Jobly has a very good international clients looking for a work, but in Duunitori, many companies are paying for that service. So there's something behind those uh, open positions that they are not the ghost jobs. That's a big problem at these times. Then we have Oikotie. There's also listed open places in logistics and in Vantaa. From Indeed also. Oh no, why not? Jobly listed. That one we already knew. Then we have a Laura page also. Here is even listed that K-rauta Hämeenkylä in Helsinki. I have used a lot that K-rauta when when I have been building. Parona again, Oikotie, Polar Pro, Juble. But you get the idea. And then also Amico. And a lot of these companies are staff leasing companies. And it just tells that if you want to get in the logistics field, uh, most likely you need to go through staff leasing company. Because why companies use staff leasing services is that their demand for the workforce is fluctuating. And then when they need more people, they will get them through staff leasing. And then when they need a bit less people, then they will let them go. And that's very easy process for the companies. But yeah, that's a different story. We are not going to talk about staff leasing today. So that was that was about the finding warehouse jobs. Now we have a lot of good tips and actually how to list all of them. And which order I would do, just one more tip. I would first fill all the staff leasing companies and sign up there which are listed under logistics. And then I would contact them and try to get that interview. If they are not giving the interview or they say that nothing at the moment, walk to their office and just talk with some manager. They will take the time, it's their job. And then uh, apply for open positions. And then after that, start going through companies and try to figure out what kind of person they need. Because major, big part of the works and vacancies goes outside of open applications, that they are not public anywhere. They come through networks, they come through people contacting the company and so on. That's where the main activity is happening, that it's outside of our sight, that we can't see that, but it's there behind. Virtually it looks like nothing is happening around, but then behind the curtains, busy as it could be. So cover letter was asked. Let me go to Canva. I'll get the sample one. I'll get the anonymized. If I have it ready here. Let's see. That one. That one was just not that one. I need to get anonymized. Where do I have one? I need to go see all. Who do I get it? I had a really good one, but I don't want to share any personal information. Okay, give me a second. I'll take I'll take names away. Okay, here's one. Checking once more. No personal details here. No, no, no. I have even better saved somewhere, but let's start with this one. Maybe maybe for a Sunday I'll get, and maybe definitely for a Sunday I will get you a better one. But somehow from my Canva I couldn't find it. And by the way, people ask very often that can I look through their CV and cover letter? And I can. Then I have said that a couple of times in live and in meetings with the smaller group of people. And then suddenly my email is full of cover letters and CVs, and it takes time to go through them. And now I changed a bit the system that if you want that I would go through your CV and cover letter, I can do it, but create it in Canva. And then I'll take a bit smaller that we get the idea. That create it in Canva and then add a page there that you have a CV and cover letter in the same file, and then send me a link that I can actually see it. That here's a share button, click it, and then pick there that anyone with the link can edit it, and then copy link. It will give you something you can send it to me. I'll paste it here that we get the. Oh, it created the link. That's not cool. But you get the idea that create a cover letter and CV in one Canva file, and then you will share it with me and give me editing rights. And I can put your notes there. I can show that how we can tune it in Finland, because uh, this one comes a problem very often that when we use ChatGPT to create a cover letter, it adds the phrases and terms we don't use in Finland. Like, I would like to be a dynamic part of your team, or I would like to be part of your company story, or something like that. We don't use them. They feel a bit strange and not familiar to people here who would read the letter. And there's a question that do we want to write it in English or Finnish? Same time in the email, we should write it in Finnish. And here comes again a small story I have told a lot. When I worked in a recruiting company, there came very often English CV and message, and it was left in a pile of applications that, or they forwarded it to me that, hey, check this out. They somehow prefer the Finnish ones. But what can we do? And let's see this one. This one is written in Finnish. It was translated with ChatGPT, and then I just cleaned it up a bit. And if you want me to clean it, I can do it in a live. Then we will remove all names, personal details, and then you will get the edited CV and cover letter, and I can show people how to do it. So everybody wins. But only thing you need to take that step that, yeah, it will be a public, but actually without any personal information. And let's see what we put. And very often when people take a cover letter base from the Canva, they leave all the generic information. Like here they put the name, and then here reads cover letter, but it should read what are you applying. In this case, we were applying a cleaning job in a property management company. Make a video. Uh, just a second. I'll get you. I'll get you. I have an editing version. It's a live. I think it was the last live. You can see it there a bit about cover letter, but I will. But best editing comes if people send me their own version in Canva, and then I'll show because everything is a bit different. We have so many cases. I'll tell you what we did here because you can't create a cover letter to fit all possible job places you can find on internet. It just doesn't work out. And what happens if you don't customize this? Um, when you are applying for a job, now you need to think from the point of the recruiter that what kind of applications they get. They get a lot of with the same base, same pictures, and almost identical text. And then they feel that, hey, this person is just sending these letters out, that maybe that one is not really interested, or it will be buried in the gray mass. And that's why I always say that take a very basic uh, template. For example, like this one, it's a clean, there is not no graphical elements which could repeat in many another cover letters. Keep it simple, not to be buried with same templates. And then what do? We have first a name, of course. Then we have our profession or what we want to be. In this case, professional cleaner. Not a cleaner, we want to be a professional cleaner. Then phone, email, address, and then put a date there that they can see that this is a fresh one. It's prepared for this application. And here I have seen very often that dear hiring management or hiring manager. That's a bit generic. It comes from the very often I made created material. If you don't know a person who will go through applications, you can put their job and then you will put what are you applying. In this case, it was about the cleaning. And because we are applying for service company, we also want to apply that maybe kiinteistöhuolto. Let's make our chances a bit bigger. That maybe they don't need a cleaner at this point, but maybe they need somebody in the maintenance field. Yeah, I love it. A lot of questions. Let me go this one through. I will read the chat soon. And then we have a simple start. We have my name and then a bit small description of us that we are hardworking. We are currently looking for work. And then that's not enough. Here we put a little addition to it. It says that we are very interested of property management service, including cleaning, and we want to develop in that area. So now they get a applicant who is interested and they want to develop there. They don't just want a job. And then we put what are we applying? It says that I'm looking for cleaning tasks. And then we mentioned that we have over 10-year experience in cleaning and property servicing and hospitality field. Really good and strong experience. And then we added a bit work experience. This one I edited to different format some point. But here it says that we have worked in a resort, we have been responsible for lobbies, rooms, and then we have worked in a restaurant where we have a customer service field experience. And then we mentioned, this is already mentioned in a CV, so we need to say it a bit differently. We are mentioning here that we have a hygiene passport and we have occupational safety card. And why do we have them? Because they will give us a proper knowledge and certification to follow the uh, regulations and so on. And why did we, what kind of addition we did to different version? We also mentioned there that it gives us the access to industrial and and like losing the words, but like traditional industrial work fields and then also food industrial places, because property service companies also service industrial buildings, and sometimes you need to have these qualifications if you want to enter and work there. It's a good place to remind. I'll take it a bit bigger. Sorry, it was a bit small. So now we have a good solid foundation. Why would be a good for that task? Then we also mentioned that we are in a good physical condition, and then comes that we are not lying because of the language. It's it's say we put there that even if we are just starting to learn in Finnish, we are studying it actively, and then we mentioned that we can communicate without any problems in English. So here we brought it out, but we made the person to read the cover letter till this point, and maybe they got a good picture of us, and maybe we would be the best person to work in that company. And then in the end, we had a little catch and hook or call to action, however you want to put that. We mentioned that we would like to come and introduce ourselves, and then also mentioning that we are looking for a full-time job or just part-time job. In another cover letter, we made also addition that yeah, okay, I'll leave it out that it doesn't come in too often, but we want to have a catch there and make them to do something. And in one letter, we were actually asking that how are you doing and so on. And then we have a question in chat. Prefer Europass CV or simple CV? Uh, I would go with simple CV. And why would I go? Now we have a situation that we have a lot of, if we have an open job vacancy, it gets a lot of applications. I talked with local animal food factory, the head of the factory. They open a position for 4 people. In less than a month, they got 250 applications. It's actually so much that they can't go through all of them. And when I was recruiting people, I noticed the same. We have open job, we get a lot of applications. We get really fancy multi-page CVs with a lot of information. But guess what? The most simple ones, where the information was very, very tight and to the point, those got most of our attention because they were easy to go through and they provided the needed information uh, in a very short amount of time. This might be a bit harsh to say, but when there are applications people go through, they don't want the life story that how did people end up here, what they have done, listed all jobs which are not relevant for that position. They want to know why that person is good fit, and they want to find that information very fast. So that's why the simple CV is the best option. Just my opinion, but in my at my work I noticed it worked the best because I had a people walking inside of the office with, I think the record is 5 or 4 pages. It was really long, and I had it saved there, but it was hard to come back that hey, what does this person actually do and so on. So that one got buried under everything. And actually, the filling the information in the database was hard because you don't know what to fill. So many different fields and not relevant information. So that's about the cover letter quickly, and I'll check that. Do I have a CV to show? Very simple one. Yeah, I had to put the sharing off that. Okay, I think hopefully I didn't. Okay, this one I can share. Just double checking that no personal information. Yeah. Okay, also your simple CV. Here, this is very simple. Uh, Template again from Canva, like name, contact details, address. By the way, address you can leave away. It's not their business, especially if you apply outside of the town or a bit further. Even if you are willing to move behind the work, leave it out. If they say that, ask where do you live, you can say that yeah, I live in the area, not far from your work. They don't need to get that information. For example, you live in Turku and you are applying a work in Helsinki. When in the real life, if you get a job, you can move there in a day. So leave that out. That one has been a very big problem. People have told that company have said that hey, you are a qualified guy. We could have use for you, but you live another side of the Finland. So sorry, not this time. And then we have a picture here. Put there some real life picture. Don't put a picture with the suit or very formal one, especially if you're not applying for a headquarters for, of some company. Put a picture what shows how you are in a real life. That's the good part of the Finland when people come here, that you don't need to be uptight, you don't need to be all licked clean. That when you show that what kind of person you are in real life, then that one sells the best. You can also try to put there something catchy, something a bit different. Then in a CV, uh, we have a summary part. We try to put there for fun that hard worker, and then we listed just a bit our experience and so on. And what I'm usually cleaning away from here is that we want to be a part of dynamic team or so on. We leave that out. And then here is where we did the biggest edit. Now I'm trying to move a wrong screen. Work experience. Uh, you have two options in uh, chronological order, or then how relevant the task is. If you make if you match the CV always with the work, put there first what is the most relevant one. And now I can say that here we did a lot of editing. Here was the cleaning company, and here we have listed uh, every task we did, and and in different fields like cleaning floors in the industrial places, cleaning floors in a home, and so on. And what did we do here? We actually checked all the tasks the person did, and then we checked that hey, we are applying for a service company, so let's put it here fields that will match with services they are providing. So we simplified it a lot. We okay, now it's Canva is teasing me. We put there a home cleaning because we clean the private houses. Then we put the industrial cleaning, comma, bakery. So they know that we know about industrial cleaning and we have experience from the bakery. And then the public places, we had shops, and then we have a general uh, uh, toilet and bathroom cleanings. So we put that, and now it's really easy to read because it was this long list of tasks before. And then we have worked in a hospital, and here we were supervisor. We did the checkings and we trained people. And again, here we had this long list of different tasks we were doing. They are not interested the exact tasks we are doing. We can list the main position we were. And then in the interview, we can open up that, okay, I have a supervisor here, that I actually had a small group of people under me. I was adjusting the shifts. I checked what they were doing. I gave them instructions and so on. You will leave some food for the interview. And then here we're, I think this one was a resort. I don't remember. It's not relevant information. But here we were supervisor slash cleaner, that we did a special cleaning. Here it was with carpets and so on. Then we also were responsible for quality inspections and managing the shifts. Really good information. And again, in the first place, we had this big list of tasks. And if you fill full A4 with different tasks, it becomes really heavy to clean. And then on the side, we have certificates, trainings listed. Again, here's the specific certificates. These are in Finland. And then skills listed and so on. And from the skills we took, they call them as a filler awards. That's some general tasks and it doesn't mean anything. So you shouldn't use filler awards in cover letter or CV. Yeah, but yeah, maximum people wear suits. That is true. They love the suit picture, but take a real life picture. It doesn't have to be that serious. That Finns don't smile, but you can smile in a picture. It's not it's not forbidden. But yeah, if you want to get your CV checked and cover letter, put it in Canva and share me a link and we'll have a look. Let's see what timer says. Hour and 17 minutes. Hey, we have actually gone over the time. What do I have? I have a bit coffee left. Oh, surprise. Do you have any questions before the Sunday? Then I have a presentation. CV 1 or 2 page, definitely 1 page. If it's not some high position. What you can do is that can have a simple CV, but you can also have some portfolio you want to share and put that one online and then provide a link that they can go and check it. Like I just got an email. It was a really nice touch for it that it was a simple CV and then there was actually a portfolio separately with pictures that what the person has done. That was a nice addition. Don't overfill the CV because again, the more cleaner the CV is, the easier it's to read, and then the recruiter won't lose a thoughts while reading it, that they get a good picture in a very short amount of time. But yeah, a lot of topics today. And then let's see, I'll share one more page. I'll put a link in the chat. Uh, there will be an updated version from this. Uh, this I'll check. Where do I get it? It should be. It should be. Here it is. Here it is. Yeah, I'm adding the. I'm starting to add because I go through the same topics very often. I'm starting to add them in a blog posts and then I'll update them. And I'll share this one, and then I'll get a link for you. I have a lot of video material. I just haven't had chance to edit. Last summer I had a couple of jobs too many. I worked in a construction on side of the training people, and I really fell behind with my free time hobbies. But here, I'll zoom a bit. That if you have different job directories, you have a free time, you can check them, you can fill your CV, set email alerts. It's good source for open positions, but keep in mind that the positions that are published in these services, they have a high competence rate. You are among a lot of people trying to get the same vacancy. But here we have a job directories in Finland. We have a T office. If they haven't updated the link, I need to check. Then we have a Duunitori. Uh, okay, I'll tell you how big competition which one has. T office, this one has a crazy competition when the open job is announced because it's the biggest service. And then also people who are unemployed, they have to look some certain amount of the jobs every month. And I can say that we have a big amount of people in Finland, for example, who are not interested of getting a work. They just they're just happy for the unemployment payment. And they send here to random positions applications. And that one loads the recruiter a lot, and then there's a lot of noise around, and your good application might be buried under. But here you get the hint what kind of companies are hiring, and then contact them directly. Apply that job and call afterwards, ask how they are doing. Duunitori, here, a lot of companies are paying for the service, so they are valid. Oikotie, same story. Take time, go through them. Many of them might be in Finnish, but that's why we have a translation. Kuntarekry, this is a bit tricky one. This is when you have already learned the Finnish. Here you can find the governmental and city workplaces. And then we have a job directories in English. We have a job portal, we have LinkedIn pages, Work in Finland, Glassdoor. I like the Glassdoor. It has a nice community. And then sometimes I use this search term in Google. I put just jobs and then I put the city and it lists a nice amount of jobs. And what I can say, for example, Glassdoor. Uh, a lot of foreign companies are recruiting for these pages. And last year I have an example that company named Strawberry. By the way, they own a hotel chain like a Clarion. I trained a couple of people there. They were just opening next to airport a new hotel, and they actually announced their open positions through Glassdoor under name of the Strawberry. But you need to all check all the time what's available there, and then just apply for those jobs, and then contact the company and ask more about the job. Open that channel for communication there. And I have to warn a bit about English portals. They have a lot of very good looking jobs available. That always check the company who made the announcement, because they here you can find a lot of fake jobs available, and you can recognize them that they have usually very good salary offer, like really good, and good terms of working, and everything sounds legit. But then when you contact them, they give you a friendly email very quickly, but they say that, hey, we would need your copy of your stay permit, passport, or driving license and so on, that then we can call you to interview that, hey, we will fill the system, system put your information, can you prove your identity, provide these documents for us. It's 99% a fake job, and they're just collecting people's identities and then they will be sold in a dark market. It's not a good thing you want to happen. That if you get the interview there, first you go through the interview, and if they feel that, hey, you are a good person for us, then you will provide the documents, not before. It's insanity what's happening now. But yeah, here I have listed the portals. I have a lot I need to add. I try a lot of things, I try a lot of companies and so on. And then I have a couple of companies listed who directly hires English speaking people. But this list is done last year and I just need to take a time and update it. I would have so many topics. I'll I'll add on tomorrow I have a safety training. I have a people joining there. I'll tune the material. I add a couple of things from this area to that training, and then on a Sunday I will take 2, maybe 3 hours. We will see, and I will have a longer webinar with all channels how to find a work in Finland and couple of good practices because there's so many different ways and they are different than in other countries. So it makes this market very challenging. But when you are adapted, you know the trick, you will do really well. And main thing in Finland, build a network. We will be talking about the network also on Sunday. So how are you feeling? Now we need to finish. I will grab my dogs, we will go out, and I will walk to my kids' school, and then we will walk together to home and start a weekend. Any final questions? Or all good? Then I will start sending invitations out for the Sunday live, and there we will have a more constructed material with a bit more thought details. Today, this one was like every Friday, it's pulled out of the sleeve and we have just fun together. Okay, I have to say thank you, and a couple of people I will see on Saturday, and then I will see a lot of people on Sunday. See you soon.